finals, ladies and gents. Good job setting up and running the Banshees. Nice idea. Thank you. To be clear, I run the Banshee tournaments, but the actual Banshees group is the brainchild or whatever of Sarah? She took the initiative, saw people wanted a all-women's group, so she made the group. I made the tournament, and then thought it was a good idea to support and advertise the group and just kind of combine forces. So, just to be, clear. All right, looks like our red Zerg is just a little bit cheesy. In the top left, as the blue Zerg, she is Kyuubi. In the bottom right, going for that early pull and early gas, it is the red Zerg, Osit. Condescension, and condensation, and condescend. Oh my god, no, they're the same thing. Fuck off, they're the same thing. I'm just never gonna use the word. There you go. I can use it in different tenses, and that'll let me survive my years of professional casting. It's great seeing you host in Montreal. Thank you, Shark Dog. Appreciate it. I'm slightly interested about our players with the same level or not. No, that's I said like don't feel like you can't ask what skill level they are. It was just some people were really using it as a well, they're not that great. They're only blank, or they're this and they can't do this. And I'm like, calm down there, buddy. Calm down. This is the full-on, all-in, Bailey Nest included. You're going to avoid the Overlord initially. You're going to want to hide the Lings initially, and then, the next set of Lings is going to, be like, fuck it, I don't care. And unfortunately for Kyuubi... Actually, look at this. So Kyuubi went for a pool. I saw the hatchery, but it's actually a building hatchery, so it's not unfortunate. It's very fortunate for Kyuubi. I guess she figured out how Osit plays. Maybe they play each other sometimes on ladder as well. But she already has a pool. She already has a spine crawler. I mean, worst case scenario, she cancels her hatchery, but it would still be okay. And there might be a world where she doesn't have to do that. And if she doesn't have to cancel her hatchery, well, this is actually laughable. I don't mean to be rude. It just is like the extreme anti-build order. Also might be figured out a little bit too much. We'll see how the micro goes down, though. Also does not know about the spine crawler quite yet. She obviously is a little disappointed to see that it was a hatchery second or third or whatever, but that's still doable if the micro goes in her favor. But this is where the real rub is. Can she actually get the good Banalin connections? The Queen's gonna help out, the spine crawler's gonna help out, but no, Kyuubi not microing her Lings for a second there, and actually lets two Banalins into the drone line! Oh, that's exactly what she was not supposed to let happen. Oh, no. Well, this game just got a lot weirder, because that wasn't supposed to happen. You're supposed to have a situation where Kyuubi's up, like, 2 drones and an entire hatchery, so it's still a very good position for her. Instead, she's down, now 5 drones, but she still has a hatchery, and she has a really good defensive setup. So, if it was just the hatchery, it's like, okay, I think also it might just be able to power forward here, but it's not just the hatchery. She still has 2 queens, 1 with transfuse, and a spine crawler, her own Baneling nest. We're gonna have to see how the potential... I mean, I don't want to say she's gonna counter, because this is only... what? 9 Lings? I don't know if she's gonna use them. Oh, she's droning behind it, so I think it's just it's for appearance, She sees that there's Banelings working for Osit, so at least she got the, reaction. But yeah, I don't think you use your Banelings. Well, unless they get a really good hit, and they almost did. 2 for 4 works out beautifully for a blue Zerg. Hot damn. And almost getting this connection as well. Really testing each other here. Kyuubi is on her way back up to the drone count. That was a hard call, because yeah, Kyuubi has all these things going for her, but that was in such an early stage. 9 drones is huge. I really wondered if that was going to be enough for her to recover, because I feel like, if it's 13 drones, she actually doesn't recover. It's not that far. It's not that much farther that also had to push it to get a win, but it looks like Kyuubi's recovering just fine. She's been droning the entire time. She was kind of using that front as a drone excuse, and Osit wasn't quite falling for it, even though she took, I guess, technically the worst trade. She was also droning pretty comparatively. Hey, kitty. So this is, I mean, the opening that Osit did, the full-on Ling Baneling speed is supposed to determine the game right then and there. You either win or you don't. Or at the very least, like, you either are far ahead or you're far behind. And it's just, like, the caster's job to try and make it look really cool. But this game is really quite even. Big difference here being that also goes for a faster third base, whereas Kyuubi just continues kind of calmly going for drones, and in fact is calmly going for Roach Warren Evolution Chamber. If she had gone for her own third hatchery instead of these two tech structures, I wouldn't have minded it. They're not really at a saturation that, you know, is totally useful for a third base, but that is, you know, also talk about the larva and the creep spread and, yeah, you know, the future, and sure. But I wouldn't have minded it. I do also think this is a good move. Like, I don't know if either one of these players will ever try and attack each other again seriously. And that's kind of where the question marks are coming in here, right? No matter what Kyuubi did. We're going for the Roach Warren and the +1, so we should see a lair as well. Means that she is transferring over into the next stage of ZVZ. Whereas also, by going for a +1 Carapace specifically, might choose to stay on Lings for a very long time. In fact, she has 20 Lings on the way, so obviously she's sticking on Lings for a little while longer. If it was +1 Missile, this is, like, I think very much a front. Oh, Baneling trades. Not a bad hit there for Kyuubi. She is getting the better trades for Ling's Baneling versus Baneling. Anyways, if this is +1 Missile, I think this is, all these Lings are a front, or just for defending, and she's gonna start on a Roach Warren soon. But if it's Carapace, I think it's a little more questionable, because Carapace helps every single unit. But the Baneling just runs on past. She's actually looking for the Lings. Kyuubi being very smart about her Baneling usage. Also, it finally tries to micro it down and does get it, but still loses the Queen for it. So Kyuubi is continuing to get slight advantages here and there. You can see, though, this is where that third hatchery is really starting to come into effect, as even though larva injects have not been terrible. Oh, actually, this one... Okay, I'm questioning that one a little bit, but they're not been terrible. She still is banking quite a lot of cash. Eventually, she'll use it because she's building roaches now, but... Kind of little missed times, not quite enough larva. Now, she will have to get a third base against upgraded Lings. And also still has not thrown down a Roach Warren, so she really wants to control the game here. And that's what she's gonna even try to push in, but the Roach is blocked. They do take out the Spine Crawler, but oh, that Baneling just made every single Ling one-shot. Oh, Osit should be so happy she had Carapace, but that should be a cancel. It's not a cancel, it's a kill! 300 minerals down the drain. I guess you could say luckily Kyuubi was banking enough minerals for that. Oh my god. That, oh lordy. You know, she saves little Lings. Regeneration will kick in, and that doesn't look nearly as important now, but... oh boy. Okay. We finally have that lair in Roach Warren and a +1 Missile on the way, so, you know, to continue on with Lings and get, like, +1 melee would have been a very, very bold move, especially because the lair is also delayed. So it's not like she would have paired those up with Spire play anytime soon. Don't want it to entirely disregard Spire play for Osit. Maybe she'll try and sneak it out and be tricky, but I don't know if that'd be a good idea. Kyuubi is already on her roaches. She already has a lot of roaches. You know, the biggest thing she took away to get this much is that third base, yes, but it might just work out beautifully. She has the roach speed about to finish up here. She still has a couple Banelings. 2 Banelings will kill all these Lings. 4 Banelings actually has 2 come from the north, and these 2 actually don't pop. They would have gotten maybe half of the Lings, but they were looking for a better hit than that. Lings do surround the roaches, but +1 finished up the roaches, and that puts things certainly in perspective. As the Lings they just go down. Osit cannot hold, will not have her own roaches in time. Kyuubi's going to continue to press her advantage with her roach speed. She's going to get that +1 Missile, maybe save it so the Broodlings don't bother her, but I do believe Kyuubi is going to take this game. Quite an action-packed ZVZ. One that Kyuubi, you could definitely say, should have won with the opener that she had, is finally able to cinch it at the very end. Would have been great to see the Banelings explode on the drones, but they hit the roaches. Okay, I guess. I wanted a cool clip moment. No. Also, it's actually not going to tap out. She is stubbornly thinking she can still do this. But the truth is, she's now down in drones, and Kyuubi now has her own third base. GG. GG. Very cool game. Is Osit gonna try and do another early pool? Because Kyuubi was all over that. She was like, nuh-uh. Slapped. And then she messed up a little bit. But, you know, she like slapped her, but then she had like a fake nail on, and the fake nail like got chipped off, and she got really mad at herself. But then she eventually still won. So it's all good. So I feel like Osit wouldn't do another early pool. If she does, maybe it's more of like a gasless pool to kind of trick and get her to over defend. But yeah. Acid plant seems to be a popular choice. Guess it's super standard. One of these players is certainly the favorite to win the finals. A little bit of a lopsided bracket, but not too bad. I do think whoever wins this will win against Vriska. But Vriska, you know, she actually played against Telia, I think, in the first tournament. And Telia has won every single tournament except this one because she couldn't participate. So obviously she's good. That's why I brought it up. And she kind of held her own, like, surprisingly well. So I don't want to totally discount Vriska, but yeah, I'm guessing whoever wins this is going to win the whole thing. It's always so silly when the interviewers interview the interviewers. Science interviewing nice username.
Emergency induction port.
Thank you, Days Go Slow, for the 3-month resub. Appreciate you coming back. We are getting into game number 2. And in the bottom right, not going for that early pool, it is the blue Zerg Osit. In the top left, did I speak too soon? In the top left is the red Zerg. She is Kyuubi. I might have spoken too soon. Is that extractor trick? No, it is. Okay, this is what she did in the second game versus Hope, so. Alright then. Going for it again. Maybe she saw a super big weakness. Maybe she agrees with some of the people in chat saying she could have just continued being aggressive. Thank you, the Darth Unicorn, for the Twitch Prime sub. As a friendly reminder, as we wait for this to happen, Kyuubi once again going for a counter build, by the way. You have Twitch Prime? Use it. Even if it's not on me, you should be using it every single month to support your favorite streamers. It costs nothing for you, considering you think Prime is a worthwhile investment. And everything for the streamer. And then if you do get gifted a sub, remember to extend it for $1 during the month of September. Most of the month of September anyways. Just a PSA. She'll do an early pool because it's almost impossible for us to play macro since she has a weak computer. That's very interesting. That must be one weak computer. But alright, well, you're absolutely correct. She does an early pool once again. At least there's a bit more reasoning behind it. Maybe that's also why she wasn't doing so well in the Ling-Baneling trades. As the numbers of units got bigger, maybe her computer started to slow down. I don't know. I don't know what the threshold is for her, but yeah, unfortunately, Kyuubi either, you know, just guessed this would happen continuously, or maybe she also knows that information, and can actually super rely on her always going for an early pool, but there are counter builds. I mean, the problem is that if Osit wasn't doing an early pool and Kyuubi did this and then didn't do any damage with it, especially because she's building a spine crawler right off the bat, she would just be behind macro-wise, right? But it's absolutely the right call. Spine crawler's the right call. And Osit is once again going to be disappointed. And this time, she should be even more disappointed because Kyuubi should not be letting 2 Banelings into her drone line. Speeds up the finish for Osit. She has Morlings on the way, confirmed by the Overlord. Kyuubi knows exactly what's going to go on here, even though she technically hasn't seen the Banelings quite yet. She knows, and she's trying to get her own Baneling nest. Even fitting a couple of drones. She's feeling very confident. And maybe she should. I think you only feel really super 100% confident when the second queen's out. But, yeah, there are Morlings. Okay, here come the Banelings. Only 2 of them. There's the other 2. Those are the ones that got into the drone line. They're gonna be looking at the same exact thing. They're actually gonna go explode. Oh, no! Okay, well, that's actually not so bad. You pull the drones against this, you shouldn't be losing nearly as many as you did against the Banelings. In fact, none yet. One drone is very weak, but not being targeted. It's actually better that Kyuubi lost her army to the Banelings than losing her drones or even losing her queen. This queen does have a transfuse. It's gonna go down on the just fresh popped queen. Unfortunately, she will lose her life. But this is game, actually. The drone mining wasn't even really disrupted. 17 drones to 14 is exactly where Kyuubi should have been at in that last game. And she just has to make sure she doesn't take any further damage. You know, keep eyes on where the Banelings are, when, you know, how many Lings are on the way with this Overlord. And she should absolutely win this game. Once again, gonna go for a bit of her own counter. Last game she was droning behind this, and there go a couple of drones. But she does have the better micro, you know, for one reason or another, right? But she has the better micro. A little bit late once again to the pop-off. She's going for the juicy kill. Also gets the queen a little bit. Gonna let these Banelings through as well, and that'll either get the Lings or it'll get the queen. So either way, job well done. GG. Kyuubi takes the series 2-0 by knowing what type of player Osit is. They play a lot of custom games against each other. Well, how am I supposed to know that? Don't be a deck.